Interpersonal communication is defined as a process when two or more people share the roles of sender and receiver, with each exercising mutual responsibility for being understood. So let's see what this means. The process is a systemic series of behaviors that are learned. Meaning is the significance that each participant gives to the message. And mutual responsibility is when each participant is accountable to the other for clarifying the meanings of the message. So let's take a look at some of the reasons why communication breaks down. First of all, we have the participants. These are the sender and receiver. It's easy when both share a common base, such as physical, psychological, social, or intellectual. Context. Context could be physical, such as a place, environment, distance, or time of day. Social, which is the nature of the relationship between the people. Cultural, which is a set of beliefs, values, and norms shared. And psychological, such as emotions, excited, sad, angry, or sick. Rules are unwritten prescriptions that indicate what behavior is obligated, preferred, or prohibited in certain contexts. Rules can be confusing because they change from time to time. Participants are always accountable for breaking the rules, such as messages, including encoding and decoding. Encoding is delivering a message using a variety of symbols, such as verbal and nonverbal communication. Decoding is interpreting and transforming the message back into thoughts and feelings. The interpretation can cause communication breakdown. That's why it's important to get your message across successfully. Channels. Channels are those that are messages transmitted through sound or light waves that could interfere with communication, such as music. Anything written or nonverbal, including signing, facial expressions, or gestures, are also part of what we call channels. Then we have noise, anything stimulus that interferes with the shared meaning, such as external noise, which includes sights and sounds, internal, which is thoughts and feelings, and semantic noise, which is actions or words that cause hurt or communication breakdown. And finally, we have feedback, which is usually the response to a message. It indicates whether and how the message was understood. So, we move on now to perception, because perception is very important. It is a process of selecting, attending sensory information, and assigning meaning to it. We base all of our behavioral responses on what we perceive. So when our perceptions are distorted, our communication is likely to be off base and ineffective. So let's look at the 3 stages of perception. First of all, we have selection, which includes needs, interests, and expectations. Needs could be psychological or biological. Then we have organization, which includes simplicity, pattern, and proximity. Good for form is always something that we also include in organization. So when simplicity comes to play, it's all about how easy is it for you to perceive something. When it comes to pattern, it's about characteristics used to differentiate things. Proximity is the distance in how we perceive the perception. And finally, we have interpretation of stimuli. As we can see, there are letters A and letter B. Both of these are a series of numbers. One could perceive letter A as the last 7 digits of a phone number, and letter B as a credit card number, but other people could perceive it in a totally different manner. The reality or accuracy of our self-concept and self-esteem depends on the accuracy of our perceptions and how we process others' perception of us. The inaccuracy or a distorted picture of ourselves becomes magnified through self-fulfilling prophecies and filtering messages. Self-fulfilling prophecies are events that happen as the result of being foretold, expected, or talked about, and that serve to reinforce an individual's self-concept. They can be self-created or otherwise imposed. Self-fulfilling prophecies are those predictions you make about yourself. The results can be positive or negative. We can further distort our self-perceptions by filtering what others say. We may hear the message, but we alter the way we listen to the message, particularly if the message contradicts the self-image we hold for ourselves. Correct words are always needed in order to ensure positive communication. So correct meaning is also important. Words can change and meanings can vary, so ensure that you find the right words, whether it's in written communication or in verbal communication, that will give a good message to your listener. So overall, communication and messages are really important. What does it mean to be able to communicate well with others? Well, it could mean a variety of different things, but overall what it means is that if you communicate effectively, your message will be clearly understood by your audience.